Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Garcia. I'm a software support specialist over here at DistributorCentral. Today's webinar, we're going to be going over the dashboard. So your DistributorCentral, once you get an account, this webinar will be helpful to you. If you're new or if you've had DistributorCentral and you haven't used it in a while, it'll show you how to place orders, quotes, email products, basically utilize the services that we offer to distributors through your DistributorCentral account at no cost. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So once you get an account, you sign up, you get an account, you'll get a username and password, and then once you log in, your homepage of your dashboard will look something similar to this. So we'll kind of go over the homepage a little bit. We'll touch base on a couple of these options up here and a couple in the menu. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we'll save some time at the end to answer those questions. If we don't get to them for whatever reason, we'll get those emailed to you. So once you get your account, well, like I said, at the top here, you'll see the name of your company, and then you'll also see your DC account number. So your DC account number is going to be a 6-digit number, also known as your industry number. So if you're like trying to register for a show, if you're working with a supplier for the first time and trying to build that business relationship and they ask for your industry number, you can give them that 6-digit number, and that'll help you proceed on with the process. You notice here that we have quite a lot of stuff on the home page here. So we have a product search here at the top, which we'll go over here in a second. If this would be if you want to enter in a keyword, an item number, you can search by categories. So you can see here, if you want to do search by categories, you can do that. Recommended is going to be based off of what you've been searching. So if I click on recommended, it's going to pull up. So you can see I've been searching for like cups and tumblers. So the system is intelligent enough to know that what I've been searching for and kind of develop a pattern and giving me recommended products that they think that I might like based on my search history there. And speaking of search history, that's the next one. And that's just going to keep track of like your item numbers, your keywords, anything that you've searched within like the past 10 or 12 times. So with the product search up here at the top, you can see that it says products, and that's basically going to take you into the search. So like I said, item number, keyword. If you do the drop down, you can do customers. So we have a CRM Lite. Anytime you're placing an order on the back end, there's a couple ways to place an order, and you'll see the example here in a little bit. But you have distributors that'll do all their business through the back end, through the dashboard, or they'll build a website within DistributorCentral, send that out to their customers, let them place the orders, and then obviously it'll still go through you as a distributor. So it'll never, if an order, and we get this question a lot, if the order gets placed on your website, it will go to you still as a distributor. It's never going to go from the end user to the supplier. So you'll always still have hands on it, review it, make sure it looks good, create the PO, and then send it to the supplier. This customers, like I said, section. So if you're placing orders on the back end, you can create customer accounts. If customers are placing an order on your website, in order for them to complete the order, they will have to create a customer account. And this will just allow you to pull up your customer list and see which customers you have, how many orders they've placed, and it'll keep track of their history on their orders and whatnot. Order number, so if you have an order you want to look up, you can just enter in the order number. You can enter in the PO number. So the way our system works is once an order is placed, it automatically generates an order number for you. If in the past you've been placing your orders and using PO numbers, you can do a PO number on top of it, but it'll automatically give you an order number. Quote number, so when we go over quotes, you'll see example of that. Products is what we're on right now. And then suppliers. So let's say you wanted to look up a supplier. So for instance, let's say if we just did How as an example. You type in their name, you'll see their information here, and then if you click on the I for view info, you'll see all their contact information here, a link to their website, and then if you come down here to the bottom, you can even narrow it down to their products. So right here where it says view all How manufacturing products, click on that, and it's going to basically take you to the product search, which we'll go over here in a little bit, and it's going to add a filter for just How. So all these products, you can see right now 446 products are from How. If I remove that filter, you can see right now in our database currently we have about 319,185 products active. So let's go back to the home page here real quick. So that's a good way to check if you know the supplier you're looking for. Either you want the contact information or you're trying to see all their products, narrow it down to their products. That's a way you can do it. Since we're on that, I'll just go ahead and touch base over here with the Supplier tab. So same thing, if you go over here to the left-hand side menu, come down to Suppliers, you can look up Supplier Contact Info, which is pulling from the same thing as up here, a shortcut. So you'll see here if I did How again, and I hit search, same thing, it's going to pull up, same screen, and same thing as before. So this is just another way to get there. My custom vendors, we'll probably touch base on that a little bit. So that's basically if you want to place an order through DistributorCentral and currently that supplier is not signed up with us, you can create your own supplier there. That way you can do a custom order. And speaking of custom vendors, so if you go to look up contact info, and let's say you do find you have a supplier that you work with and they're not currently signed up with us, you can click on this Suggest a Supplier button up here. What that does is that sends us a notification to management and also support. And so we can follow up with them to see if they'd be a good fit, get them signed up for DistributorCentral, so then you don't have to do custom orders because they'll be signed up with DistributorCentral and you can place orders just like any other supplier that would be signed up. Last but not least here on the suppliers, if you click on suppliers on DistributorCentral, you'll see here that there's listed alphabetically, and you can sort alphabetically by the company name, city, state, or zip, and then you can view their products. So just another way to view all their products and see their contact information. You can see here all the current active suppliers that we have in our list. If you wanted to search for one in this list, you could just do Command the Control F and just type in like we were doing How as an example. So you can see right there and you can see their information. And if I click the View Products, it would take me to the exact same place as it took when I went up here. So that's how you can search for suppliers right off the bat if you want to start looking at their products. And I'll show you another way to narrow that down once we get into the product search. Over here is your main function with your dashboard regarding your orders. So if you click on this drop down here, we'll go over these things here. So right now you can see orders from customers. So any orders placed online through your website, you'll get a notification here. Always get a notification to your DistributorCentral account. You'll also get a notification to your email address too. But you would see here it would say one new order. If you placed an order on hold as far as the status goes, and you'll see that when we get to the order summary page, you can see which orders you placed on hold. And then recent orders or recent anything is going to pull within the last 30 days. So that's how you can kind of check on that. So let's say right now I don't have any. If I click on recent orders, you can see I don't have any. And it'll tell you the dates that it's searching through. If you click search again, you can even narrow it down farther. So right now, recent orders again, another shortcut, last 30 days. So I'm just going to go 365. And now you can see the last orders, all the orders that I've had within the past year. And you can go back as far as you want. As long as you've had your DistributorCentral account, the order history will go back and you'll be able to check on any of those orders. Go back here to the drop down. Just like you have the ability to control the status to the customer, the supplier can control the status to you. So if they put one on hold, you'd see it here. If there's a proof ready, you'd see it there. Next one down, customer request. This is going to be pulling from your website. So if you have a contact form on your website, which if you're using our website templates, mostly all of them have a contact form either on the contact page or on the home page. And if a customer fills that out, you'll also get a notification to your email, and then you'll see a notification here for not followed up, and then you can also mark it as followed up. And then the last but not least in this one is the customer reorder reminders. So once you place an order in the system, you can actually set a reorder. An example of this would be if you have a customer that's going to be doing the same, for instance, with sports schedules, it's going to be the same thing every year. Maybe it's a high school, a college, and every year they're going to have new schedules going out around the same time. So once you place that first order, you can set a reorder reminder that will send it to your customer, and you'll also be notified here, ready to send to your customer. Then you can send it to them, and they can just click on reorder instead of you having to re-enter in the entire order again. Another thing over here is our feedback button. So pretty simple. If you like something, click on the smiley face and type in your comment. If you don't, click on the sad face, type in your comment. If you're kind of in the middle, just type in your comment and don't click on one of the faces. So we take a look at that, and upper management takes a look at that too. Over here, we have your help center. So the help center will basically give you access to our help website. So if you go to help.distributorcentral.com, you'll see currently here all the help guides and videos and stuff that are associated with the help guides, sorted by distributors, suppliers, developers, websites. You can type in a keyword here. So let's say you wanted to know how to add an image to your website. You could just start typing in add image. And you can see here, if you come down where it says, where is it? Image editor, so different types of images. You can, all different kinds of things here that you can see that if you wanted to upload images. So you can type in keywords here and it'll search through our entire database on our help guide or help center here, if you will. And it's all connected back here. So if you didn't want to go to help.distributorcentral.com, you can just go to this question mark here, and then you can type it in here, and that's going to be connected back. Knowledge base, same thing. Live chat is going to connect to somebody that's in support, anybody that's available. So if you don't want to call in, you don't want to email, and it's in between our office hours, you can do the live chat, and somebody can help you out via live chat. Join a webinar is just going to let you know upcoming webinars that you can see here, and you can see past webinars down here if you want to see a recording. You scroll down here, this is me right here. So you can sign up for future webinars, book a demo. So if you click on that, there's a couple one-on-one go-to meetings you can set up with us. So you can do account setup, basic features, website. It connects to people in support, checks our schedules, make sure we're available, so it'll give you slots of times that we're available. Support forum is going to be a forum of your peers, your fellow peers, so you can ask questions in here. Any questions, we monitor this, so we give you guys a chance to answer each other's questions, whether it's promotional product related or just general questions. Feel free to take advantage of the forum and talk with your fellow peers, fellow distributors. Release notes is going to our blog, just a section of our blog, and then if you come to our blog here, you can see like what's new with Distributor Central, what's new in the industry, and you can check out our blog when you get a chance. Next thing over is just a bunch of shortcuts. So you can see here the star, all different kinds of shortcuts here. And we'll go over some of these here in a little bit. Over here, if you click on your initials, you can update your account information. So if I click on my account information, I can change the name of my company. I can change my contacts if I want. So you can see here, by default, you're going to have a main contact, and that's going to be your only contact. And then if you want to add another contact, you can. So you can click Add New Contact if it's totally different, or you can click Add Similar and just change certain things you want to change about it. So like in this case, I clicked Add Similar from the main, and it created a customer service contact without a phone number and just an email address. You can check your preferences if you want to. You can change your password. So if you go to change password, you can see also this allows you to change your username. So if you want to update your username, you can do that. Offers. So this is going to be our marketing page. All the email blasts that go out from suppliers that you get will be all in one spot. So let's say that you got an email blast 2 weeks ago from a supplier. You can't find it. You thought you saved it in your email. You were not sure exactly, but you kind of had an idea of what it was. This is going to keep track of all the email blasts that went out, and it's going to be the most recent to the oldest as you scroll down, so left to right. And it keeps track for at least a month, sometimes even longer than that. So you can kind of see what the current email blasts that have gone out. With these email blasts too, like let's say you're looking at this one right here. If you click on it, you can see there's a forward safe version. So if you click on that forward safe, it'll get rid of the supplier's information down here so you can send it to any of your customers that you want to. Go back to the home page. So next thing we're going to talk about is what's called, we call it Product Central. So you got a bunch of different things here you can see on the home page. This is going to give you, things to look at. That way you're not, just blindly searching for stuff. If you don't, trying to get an idea of what's hot, what's new, any specials, stuff like that. So you'll have product of the day, which this will automatically update to the product of the day. If it doesn't update, or if there's not a product of the day, it'll just revert back to the previous product of the day. DC deals, that goes back to the offers. So just another shortcut back to the marketing. So if this will randomize any of the email blasts that are in there. Ideas is, once again, it's based off of what you've been searching for. So you're recommended. And then we usually have a feature for the month. So you can see for the month of March, it's all about golf. So you can check out the golf catalog that's created there in the golf products. As we move down, featured products, these are going to be previous products of the day. So after it drops off as product of the day, and let's say another one comes in tomorrow and is different product of the day, it'll get put in this catalog right here. And as you can see here with these scrolling, we call them product ribbons, you can scroll through a couple of them. And then once you get through a couple of them, you'll get that little icon there. And if you click view more, it'll take you to the product search with just that catalog. So you'll see that here in a second. So you can see 210 results currently in the featured product, and you can see the active filter featured product. Go back to the home page. Another thing, as I wanted to mention, is you're seeing these ads here, and sometimes there'll be, there's one up here too. So all of these ads are going to relate back to the industry, and they're all going to be related to suppliers that are signed up with us. So you won't see anything outside of Distributor Central ad-wise on here. So if you click on these, you can go check out what the ad's all about. Recommended for you, once again, the same thing is up here as recommended based on my search history. Top sellers, this is going to be the top products from the top suppliers. So it's a good one to check out. And if you see these little $5 off tags, it's going to take us right into the next one for the order and save. And I'll go over that here. So the order and save, you can see all of them have the $5 off tag on the order and save. But any of the products that you see in the product search, you might see this $5 off tag. If you see that $5 off tag, that means that the supplier has provided an additional $5 off for those items. And so if you're wanting to sort those all by the ones that have the $5 off, you can come down to the order and save and check out that catalog, and those will all have it. Otherwise, if you're doing just searches, like say you're searching for a tumbler, every now and then you'll see one that has it $5 off, but it has them all housed here under order and save. Last but not least on this page is product categories. So it's the same thing as up here at the top where you had just the list of the category links. So this is going to take you to the same place. It's just got a tile type of background, masonry tile. So just a little more visual appealing. And just to let you know, you can add this to your website, product categories with the masonry tiles. You can add the top sellers product ribbon. You can add the featured products product ribbon, and it'll automatically update for you based on what's shown here on the dashboard. And you can also do product of the day, and that'll automatically update whatever the product of the day is to reflect on your actual website. So now let's get into the product search itself. So as I mentioned before, up here you can type in keyword, or you can type in an item number. So if I start typing it in, you can see the system's already looking to see what's going to be the first 3 results based on what I'm typing in. So from here, I can do show all tumbler results, or I can click on the little magnifying glass, or you can just click enter on your keyboard. Another way to get to the product search, let's say you don't know exactly item number, you don't have a keyword, you're not sure category-wise, you just want to start seeing images of products and then kind of go from there. You can come over here to the Products tab on the left-hand side, click on that, go to Product Search, and it's going to take you to the main product search here. So now you're on the main product search, and you can see back again, we're at the no filters added, 319,186 products. So you can go here and you can start filtering out by category. You can see all the different filters here, price, all different kinds, brand name, colors, country manufacturing. You can narrow, when I was talking about earlier about suppliers, I'll show you here in a second, but you can do minimum quantity, paper thickness, all different kinds of stuff here. So you can see all the filters that are available, union made. So if I go back to the top here, and let's say I just want to look for tumblers. So I'll type in tumbler, and then hit enter. And it's going to add that filter here under active filters. So right here, you can see active filters. Now, let's say I want to narrow it down. So right now I'm at 4,191. I want to narrow it down even further to a couple of different suppliers. So I can come down here to where it says suppliers, usually towards the very bottom. Click, and you can see right here, there's 10 of them. So you can see Bic has 101, Bell Promo has 396, Calico has 281. Let's say I just want to check some other ones. So if I click View All Suppliers, I can add multiple suppliers here. So I could do Tervis, add them, Gold Bond, add them. So you can add all different kinds. I can do Leprechaun. Let's say I just want to do those three, and I'll click Save, and it's going to add it to the active filters here. So now I'm down to 182, and I was at 4,100. So you can see you can keep adding filters, and let's say I wanted to go back. I can just click this, and then I'll just be back to the tumbler filter. So looking at the products here, this is how it's going to be anytime the product search comes back. And remember, I was talking about that $5 off tag. So you can see there's one here, one there, one there, one there. So that order and save catalog on the homepage will put these all in one catalog for you. But you can see here that there's, you can have, they can be random. It depends on if that item applies or not. So if we're doing, let's say I want to, let's just first go over the thumbnails here. So on the thumbnails, you can see there's a quick view. If you highlight over, you can see the name of the product, the item number that we talked about. So I can show you an example of that here. I'll copy that real quick here in a second. High caliber line. So if I click on their name, I can see their contact information. Also, I can request more information from them directly. If I don't want to call them or email them, I can just send them a form straight from my DistributorCentral account, fill out this form and send it to them. So when you also see on the quick view, you'll see the main bullet points of the product. You can view the full product details, which we'll look at here in a second. You can add the list, which goes into our product list. You can see right now there's already 4 on there previously, and I'll clear that out here in a second. Email products, or you can request more information, which is the same thing as if you clicked on here. This is the request more information section right here. Looking at the thumbnail itself, though, you can see the name of the product, the item number again, minimum quantity, and who the supplier is. So right here you can see high caliber line, Diamondback branding, Crown, just for the first 3. So you can check that out. If you click on the product itself, this is going to take you to the product details. Product details is going to give you obviously more information. You can see the additional images they have, if they have a video, all the product options that are associated with this product. So as you're placing an order, these are some of the options you can choose from. And you can see, once again, the main bullet points that showed up on the quick view. Production time, you can see additional information, the different versions they have, and then down here you'll see the pricing details. So it's going to default to retail, but you can also switch to net to see what your cost would be as a distributor. You can try the shipping estimate to get a shipping estimate off of that, or if you want to place the order, you can do order now. One of the main things, though, that we like to focus on this page is this report inaccurate information button. This helps us out and also helps the supplier out. So let's say, for instance, we were looking at this 60 quantity, and it said $107.20. Obviously, that's a typo with a decimal point. You can click report inaccurate information. The supplier gets a copy of it. So it just looks like this. The supplier will get a copy of it, and you can add your own comments down there. Attach a screenshot if you wanted to. And then we get a copy of it too, so we know to go in there and update that information, or the supplier can get in there and update that information to make sure we have accurate data on that product, so it's able to be ordered. I'm going to go back one page here. So another thing you see, and that was the product details page that I was on. So a couple ways to get there, and I'll show you that here real quick. So one of the ways is from quick view, and then view full product details, which takes you to that product details page. Or if you just want to get there directly, you just go below the quick view. I'm going to pull it up here. Just go below the quick view, like right here. Click on the actual item, the name of the item, and it'll take you right into the product details. So next thing we'll go over is kind of the little thumbnail itself. You've probably seen two different links on there. So over here you have add to cart, which is going to start the order process, and then add to list will put it in the product list tool down here. So let me clear this out real quick so you can see. So now when I click add to list, you'll see the little animation that drops it over here into the product list tool. And then the product list tool, but before we get into that, let's say that I wanted to do tumbler and I only wanted Tervis as before. So I did the other three, but let's say I just want Tervis. So I'm going to go back down here, do view all suppliers, type in Tervis, add them, hit save. So now I have tumbler, active filters, tumbler, and Tervis. Got me down to 15 products here. So then let's say I want to save this search. There's also a save search option, which you can see here. You can pull up your old saved searches, or you can save this search. So I'm going to save this search, and I'm going to title it Tervis Tumblers. And you can, the way the save search works is it is available to, by default, to the user that's using the account. So if it's the admin or additional users, only that person will see it unless you click this little box right here, and then anybody can see the save searches when they pull it up. So if I click save, we'll go ahead and make it available to everybody. Let's say it came in here, and I'll go ahead and move this and remove this. And let's say I came in here next week. I can just come straight to my products over here on the left, product search, and it's going to take me to the product search page. And then when I get to the product search page, I'll just click on save searches. And then if I scroll down, you'll see Tervis Tumblers, open save search, and it'll bring me back to the search that I had saved. So that's a good option for you if you want to save searches. The product list tool is more for certain types of products that you want in like either a catalog or you want to email them, and we'll go over that here in a second. You can see that before I added 3. So if I want to remove them, I can click on here and do it one by one by the trash can, or I can just clear the list and hit remove all products. So we'll go with the I'll leave this open so you can see them. Like I said, the animation drops them in there, but now you'll see them actually pop up. So if I go add the list, you'll see they're getting added in down there. And then it would look like this without it being opened, expanded. So if you look at it now, you can see that there's 2 products in the product list tool, and you'll see the number of products right here. So now if I want to look at the product list tool, I'll just open it up, and it's automatically going to auto save these, and we'll show you how to kind of manage those here. So right now I have 2 in here. Let's say I want to add a couple more. So now I have 4. So now I can email products to my customers if I want to. Once again, if the customer exists, I can use it from the drop-down menu, which goes back to the CRM. Or if they don't, I can just enter in their email address or their email address. If you have a website created, you can pick which website you want. And then you can change, subject, new tumblers, add a message, check out these tumblers. You can send a copy to yourself. You can preview it. So that's how it's going to look to your customer. If you have a logo on your site, it'll have a logo up there of your company. So basically the email product option is for, let's say you have a customer that's interested, in this case, tumblers. They don't really have a quantity they're looking for. They just want basic information. This would be the best option for you to do, to send to them. And then they can see it. And then that website that we checked, that's where that view additional information about this product, because that'll basically pull them to your website on this product that they can look at it on your actual site. So if they wanted to order it, they can. Another option, which you notice down here, is customize email. So if I click on the customize email, you can see here that you can customize it a little bit. So I can change the name, I can change the message or the comment. I can change the name of the product. I can take out the product number. I can adjust the actual description of the product. So you can hide the additional information if you don't want that there. So you can see you can hide it. You can hide the additional information link if you don't want to have it linked back to your website. Over here on the pricing details, I can update this. Let's say I only want them to see 25 and 300. I can remove this. And let's say I do engraving. I'm an engraver. I can add a row for engraving, $20, and that'll get added in. And then it'll just do the same thing however many products you have. So exact same thing onto the next product. In this case, I have 4. And then when you're ready, you just scroll down to the bottom, and then you can go ahead and send your email. So couple different options you can do there. Generic, which is going to pull in whatever the supplier has, quantity, pricing, description, whatever they have on the product, basically. Or you can do the customize, where it'll pull in the generic information, but then you can go in there and customize it and remove stuff that you don't want them to see, change pricing. Like I said, email products is more for if your customer is interested in a certain type of item, but they're not sure quantity-wise yet, and they just kind of trying to get an idea of pricing. That would be the best one to do it. Next one over is view and search. So view and search is going to actually come in handy if you have like 70 items, or 50 items, or even 20 items, because all it's going to do is it's going to take all the items you have, and it's just going to put it in the search. And you can see here that it's active filter draft. So right now you can see I have 4, and you can also tell, like I said earlier, down here by seeing 4 products. So if you only have a couple, you know, you don't need to use the view and search, but if you have maybe like 10 or more, like this starts filling up down here and maybe you have a scroll bar, this would be the best option for you because it'll condense it all down into one area for you. That way you're not looking at it here and there, and I got some on page 1, I got some activated on page 2 type of thing. So you can take a look. Create a quote. So the next one we'll go over. So this one is in regards to email product, as I said, general information, all quantities, pricing. Quote is more geared towards when you actually know how many they want, what they're looking for, and you're going to send them a quote on an exact amount. So let's say on this first one with the, let's say I sent that out to them, they like it, and they say, I want to go with that first water bottle. Can you get me a quote on it? So this is this one right here. So I pull up my list, and then when I pull up my list, I can remove these just by clicking delete. Or we'll just leave 2 on there so you can see an example of 2. So by default, it's going to automatically do the minimum quantity, which you can see here. Let's say they wanted to do 2 quantities. So they want to get a quote on 2 quantities. You can do copy different amount. It'll copy the product and then put the other quantity amount there. But by default, it's only going to do 1 with the lowest quantity. If you come over here to the options, it's going to default to retail. Obviously, you don't want to send your customer a net quote, which is your pricing as a distributor. But you can send it to yourself if you wanted to with the net. So here you can do margin, you can mark up or mark down over retail. Decide if you want to show tax, freight, select the state, change the layout view, and then we're just going to keep it basic and create the quote. So you can name the quote, and you can see my logo right here. So the logo you want to add, if you want to add your logo, you're looking at a 1-to-1 ratio. And once you add your logo here, it'll stay and it'll remember. The system will remember it. So anytime you do quotes in the future, it'll automatically have your logo on there until you change it again. If you have, once again, look up customer. So it's going back to our CRM. So if I do here, browse customers, I can see if I have any, and I do. We'll just take that one, hit save, and it'll fill in their information there. Since I didn't save it. And you can see here as you go down, it's similar to the customized email, but it's a little bit more advanced where I can remove the image. I can, let's say I have a graphic team or I'm a graphic artist myself. I know how to do stuff in regards to graphics. I can take out that logo, put my customer's logo on there so they can see what it looks like. So you can use your own image. You can restore the image if you decide you want to do that. Over here, you can see that the toolbar is very versatile. It's similar to like Microsoft Word. So you can add an image, you can add the link, you can bold, italicize, you can change the alignment, the font size, the color, all different kinds of things you can do here in this block. And if you know HTML, you can add HTML. And then as you come down here, you'll see the custom option again. So as we did before, I can just add the engraving charge. Put the quantity there, and then the price, add it, and it's automatically going to add it there. So now you can see here, as you come down, I have the base price, and then I have my engraving charge. And if you're looking at it now, as you see right here, if you want to get into the very specific details on the product, you can click edit. So this is just the base. And obviously you pick your quantity. And then if they have, so it doesn't look like there's any options associated with this, but if let's say they had options and it's available in blue, it's available in black, you can come in and click edit and it'll take you through the options that you can select. So here it would say 24-ounce stainless steel water bottle, turbis with lid, color black, lid, gray, or if they had those options. And then you would see that here. This looks like it's just a one-off with the You don't get to pick the color on that one, but you can see that it would break down and let you pick the color. You can break it down as opposed to just having the generic information here. It would have the colors and the options underneath that. Once you come down here and just click on the next page, it's just going to do the same thing over. So just going to be however many products you have. And then if I click finish, it's going to generate a quote number for me. You can see right here. So that quote number, I can now pull that up. I can email the quote to my customer. When you send the quote to your customer, I always recommend doing the third option here. That way you send it as HTML and a PDF just in case. So they have two ways to see it. But now I have that quote number. So let's say I come back in tomorrow. My customer gets a hold of me today and says, yeah, I like that. Let's go ahead and do that. I can come up here to the products, go to quote, as we did before, and we talked earlier. So I just go into quote, put in the quote number, and it's going to take me right to the quote. Well, let's say you didn't know, you didn't remember the quote number. So that goes back into the menu over here. If you go to orders, quotes to customers, you can use that option that we talked about, the recent. Anytime it says recent, it's going to pull within the last 30 days. So if I click on recent, it's going to pull up last 30 days. I only have one quote, so I can pull that quote up. If I had more, there'd be a list of them there. And like I said, let's say the customer's ready to go and they want to go ahead and place an order with us. Everything looks good. So I can go ahead up here to what do you want to do, convert to an order, click go. This is going to take us to the very last page of the order process, which you'll see here. Once we go over an example of an order, you can add your PO as we talked about earlier, but you'll see the breakdown of the pricing and the cost. So if you need to make any changes, you can add artwork if you needed to. Edit shipping information. Now this is live, so I'm just going to pick this first one, or the middle one. The first one would actually create the PO and send it to the supplier, so it would be sent to the supplier for production. Since it's live, we're just going to do the middle one. That way we'll go ahead and hit create PO. And what it's going to do is it's going to take that quote number and turn it into an order number. So it'll be the same thing, but now it's an order number. So now if I come up here back to the main and I go to recent orders, you can see there's a 1 there now, whereas before there was a 0. So if I click on that, it's going to pull up the order right away. If there was multiple ones, they'd be in a list just like before. Let's go back to the product search. We still have one more thing with the product list tool. So I'm just going to the products. This menu over here on the left will always be showing, and so will the top up here, no matter what page you're on. So you can always access it. You don't need to go back to the home every time and then come over here. But you're just going to go to products, product search, and you can see right here that the list is down there and it remembers my 4 products. You want to make sure to save that, and I'll show you here as we get over here in a second. Another option you have is convert to catalog. So what this option does, it allows you to convert whatever products you have in there into a catalog to your website. So you automatically sends it to your website. This would come in handy if you're doing like a customer presentation, or if you're just trying to upload a new catalog to your website. So with these custom product catalogs, which would be taking advantage of that convert to catalog, currently you can have up to 75 products per catalog. So once this reaches 75, then you know you need to go ahead and convert the catalog and send it over. Clear list is actually going to clear the entire list out that you've been working with, and you'll get a prompt. So if I click clear list, you'll get a prompt to remove all products. And this is because, so when we go over here, we're going to save this list real quick. Save it as March tumblers. So now this list is loaded as March tumblers, right? So if I clear my list, well, let me show you here when you go to manage list. March tumblers, 4 products. If I clear this list and I say yes, it's active currently under March tumblers. So when I go to manage list now, you can see there's 0 products there. So I'll show you another example. Go to Manage List here, and we'll pull up Custom Cups, Open List. And let's say I want to create a new list. So I'm not going to click Clear List because that would clear your entire list in that list that you created. You'll just click Add New List. And we could say newest March tumblers. Save. And it's going to load that new list without affecting that previous list. So if I come over here to Manage List, you'll see that Custom Cups 1 still has the 4 products, and it automatically loaded my newest March tumblers list. So then I can start adding my new products in there without affecting my other list. These lists come in handy, especially if you're creating lists for your customers. Make sure you save it, then you can email it to them, you can send quotes, you can always come back here and look at your managed list and make sure you label it how you would recognize it. And then you can come in here and you can add, send out emails, whatever you want to do for these lists, send them to your website, that type of thing. So definitely take advantage of the product list tool. Next thing we're going to go over is actually placing an order. So as I mentioned, you can click Add to Cart, which will start the order process, or you can come back and we'll see it loads here. We'll do tumblers again, since we were doing tumblers. You can kind of see. So I'll go ahead and select this one. So I can do the Add to Cart from the thumbnail, or I can come over here and click Order Now. And so from here, I can select my customer. So if I'm creating it on the back end, I can create a customer, assign it to that customer. Or if you don't have it, you can just move on. And you can see as we're going through the process, it's going to fill in the details here. So right now I have the tumbler selected, 24 quantity, next. It's just going to keep filling in the details as I go along the order process. And another thing you'll notice is up here, you can switch between net and retail. And also you get the order status of how far your completion is. So if you wanted to switch to retail, you could do that. So now I'm looking at the colors. Let's say I want this matte black color. And then branding, I'm going to do laser engraved. I'm going to click next. So now you can see, as I mentioned before, it's just adding more orders, more details to the order here. You can upload artwork. On this side right now, we get a lot of questions saying, is my customer going to be able to see that if they're ordering on my website? Because obviously that's the supplier's information. That will convert to your information as a distributor. The customer will never see the supplier's contact information, who the supplier is. They will only see your information. You can add artwork instructions, comments, just taking it through step by step. At this point, if you want to add another product, you could add another product, but we're just going to keep it simple. You can see the details so far in the breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and click next. This is that part I was telling you about with the PO. So it's automatically going to generate order number for you. But you can add a PO number in there if you want. Here you're going to see payment to the supplier. A lot of these you're going to see bill to account, which means that they'll contact you within usually around 48 hours to set up payment with you. And then you can pick the address. You can do drop shipment, split shipment. So if I want to do 12 to 1 address, I'd put 12 out of 24, put the address in there, save it, come back up, do the last 12, put it in there and save it. But for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and just do it all to one. And you can see that it automatically filled in there. That's based on your browser history, how you have your settings. So if you have the settings to autofill and remember, then it'll do that based on other addresses you put in other websites and so on and so forth. You can also type it in, obviously, or you can copy and paste it in here. As far as the shipping goes, you have different shipping methods that you can see that they provide. So with this one, UPS, other truck lines, so their main's UPS. You can add your third-party shipping number if you have one. Once you add that number, it'll stay in there and remember it. The system will remember it, so you can use it on other orders. And then you can see the different costs here with the ground, 3-day, second day, next day, and add any comments to the supplier if you want. Click next. This next page you'll recognize from when we converted the quote to an order. So this is back to the order review and confirmation page. Once again, you can still switch back and forth if you wanted to, which will take me into the next screen here, because a lot of people will see this. You can see right now it's defaulting to net, right? And this is where some people get confused. So you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I haven't switched it to retail. Everything is net. I know I'm good with this price. I come down here, $389.53. Looks good. This time I'm just going to save it. So we'll hit save. So remember, $389.53, sorry. And then you come in here and you look at this and you say, what's this $554.90? Well, this is the order summary page, and this is going to be the same layout no matter if you're ordering in the back end or if your customer is placing an order through your website. So you'll see the customer order section, which is the retail up here. And then you'll see your section, which would be here in the orange, purchase order to supplier for the net. And so this is how it would come in. The reason I chose to save is because this is how it comes in from your website. It looks just like this. So in order to get this order going, obviously you'd want to review the order so you can view the details. You can edit. You can change the reorder. We talked about the reorder reminder. Once the order's placed, you can set that reorder reminder. We talked about statuses earlier. If you saw that there was 5 on hold, that's because those orders have been changed status to on hold, and that lets your customer know the status, just like the supplier will be able to control the status down here to you. So what we need to do now is create the purchase order, add a comment if you want, create PO. Most of the time, people, when they're placing the order on the back end, will automatically choose that first option, create the PO, send it to the supplier, done. If you choose any of the other ones, you still have to send it to the supplier. And this is the process I'm showing you now. Or if it comes from your website, it's like I said, it's never going to go from the end user to the supplier. So you'll still have to get in here and review it and create the PO and send it. So I created the PO, and now you can see the information for me as a distributor is up here. And there's our $389.53 that we saw on the order review and confirmation page. So, like I said, a lot of people get confused because they'll see that $389.53. Next page shows them $554.90, and if they selected the save option, there's no pricing down here until you create that PO. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and send it to the supplier, and then it'll say status received. So you can see different options here. You'll see the artwork. If we go back up here to the order, you can edit the order, print. You can pull a reorder. So let's say that same time next year, you know how we set the reorder reminders that we were talking about. I pull up the old order, I click reorder, it'll automatically fill in everything for you. Only thing might change might be the artwork. It'll update the pricing, and then you can go ahead and create the PO, send it off, and not have to re-enter it in every time. Cancel order, this is an option you can use, like if your customer places an order with you on their website, and then they say, I want to cancel that order. If you haven't sent it to the supplier, then you can just cancel it. Once you send the PO to the supplier, you'll have to call that supplier directly in order to cancel that order. But if it hasn't been sent, you have the ability to go in there and cancel the order. You can add artwork to it. You can invoice your customer. So our websites and our systems are already e-commerce enabled. So if you have merchant account through authorize.net, PayPal, PayJunction, or Stripe, you can generate an invoice with the Pay Online Now link to your customer. Or if you just don't want to do anything, you can, at the very least, send them a copy of their invoice. You can put that it's marked as paid when you actually create it. So it's not actually, you didn't take a payment, but you're just using it for accounting purposes to let them know, hey, this has been paid. Like let's say if you use Square, for instance, you call them, you take a payment from them, and they want a copy of the invoice. You can come in here and create the invoice and just mark it as paid. Put the dollar amount in, which it'll automatically fill in. So when I create the invoice, you'll see here, and it'll say right here the $554.90, and then I can mark as paid. Oh, looks like there's a thing there. So what it should do is when you click, looks like there might be a little bug right now, but you can mark as paid. Once you mark it as paid, then you don't have to send it to your customer. And that's just for like I said, accounting purposes. Last but not least, down here at the very bottom, so this is going to be more for the suppliers that use this on the back end. Just like you can invoice your customers up here, they can invoice you if they use this on the back end. So they can create an invoice and send it to you, and you would see it here. And then you could make a payment through DistributorCentral to the supplier. Most of them are just going to contact you, and then they'll set up payment arrangements with you. So you can see once you place the order, you'll always, like I said, you'll always see this screen. And then from this screen, you can go back to the home page. You can, go wherever you need to go. You can get back to that order by going here, going to the order number itself, or coming over here and going to recent orders. So why it says 2 is because we did the quote, converted into an order, and then we also did just a regular generic order. But I think that's going to about do it for today. I'll stick around if you guys have any questions. The recording will be out in about 2 hours, so if you guys wanted to go back and watch it, you'll get an email shortly. But as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a call Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can email us anytime, info@distributorcentral.com, or take advantage of our live chat function that we talked about right here, and you can come here and anybody in support can talk to you. Hope you guys are doing well. Have a safe and happy weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.